Hello everyone, glad to have you back. Today's video we're going to take a look at the part one of our current scene that's on the easel. But during this I'd like to talk about another little thing called artist block. It's when we as artists have a lack of inspiration and what causes that and how we can overcome it. I'm going to be using this current piece as a reference point so you can see where my lack of inspiration and how I overcome it. Let's take a look. It seems that no matter how well I plan out a composition, there always comes a time where I have to use artistic licensing or there's an area of the composition that I'm not quite happy with. Most times that our artistic licensing is enough to overcome the area in conflict. And other times it can lead to a lack of inspiration with the whole painting. This is not uncommon to many artists, I believe, and it's in those times that we have to push through and find ways to overcome that area so we can complete the painting. So let me give you a little backstory of this particular piece. As many of you already know, this piece has been on the easel for some 3 odd weeks now without a single brushstroke being applied. And I point to the reasoning behind that is because of that lack of inspiration or that artistic block that happened during this particular piece. So the idea behind this piece was the merger of a couple different compositions into one solo composition. I'll show you those two pieces here. And as you can tell, it's quite different from what we've got on the screen right now. But I like the mountainscape in the one composition, and I like the mid and foreground in the other composition. So as I've done before, I was just going to merge them together into one complete scene. And although I've done this technique before with several different compositions, more than just two, this is actually where the problem arises and where the kind of the roadblock hit with this particular piece. It doesn't happen until a little bit later because, as you can tell, I've weaved my way through adjusting things where I wanted it to be. But it finally got down to a certain point where I just was not happy with the one area of the painting. So it sat there for 3 weeks. And finally, I decided I'll give another technique a try, and I'll explain that when we get to it. And before I turn you over to the ambient music for a bit, let me ask, are you subscribed to the channel? If you're not, we'd love to have you be part of our community. So hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell so you're alerted the next time we release a video. And here in a little bit, I'll also ask you to place a comment in the comment section. I need to know whether you think that this problem area was fixed with the technique that I applied. If not, I'd be glad to hear your critique. I like to think that it did add to, and I think it sufficed to make us to the end of the painting. Okay, let me bring you back into our problem child here. For whatever reason, the mid-ground trees or the mid-ground forest area just was not sitting well with me. I'm happy with the upper frame with the mountainscape. I'm happy with or will be happy with the foreground and the creek, but that middle area and that forest area just wasn't sitting right for me. So what I wanted to try here, as you'll see, is I'm going to glaze over this area. I think I've got a good composition as far as the trees built. But what I've done here is I've glazed over this entire area to not only desaturate it a little bit, but in the process, push it back a little bit to kind of bring forward the bigger trees in the foreground and the creek. Now, this is accomplished quite easily by just taking a little bit of your medium, in my case, the liquid original, and some of your paint. For me, it was a bit of a titanium white and a little ultramarine blue, a little bit of desaturation on that blue, so it comes out more of a bluish gray than just a straight blue and white. This kind of gives us a foggy and a hazy appearance. And I think what I've accomplished here is something I'm happy with, in that the fact that it pushed these trees back to where they look a little bit more in the distance, still going to be in the sunlight because I went back in and added a little bit of highlights onto the branches. But overall, I think it made that midsection really pop to the point where it separates and gives us a distance between the foreground and the background. Now, as you can tell, also, we're nowhere near for being finished, so I wanted to go ahead and release this part one of this scene. It's been a while since I released a video, so I thought, let's get this out. Let's explain our roadblock. Let's see if we can help others overcome their artistic block. Drop me a comment. Let me know. Do you think this technique helped our scene? Or do you think we need to try something else? I'm pretty happy with it now, so I probably will continue on and finish out the painting. But as always, let me know what you think. And until next time, happy painting.